目前，美国的报纸有一篇关于中国经济的文章。然而，最近讨论的是经济增速减缓的话题。所以，现在不是理想的投资时机。The term China is literally translated as Middle Kingdom. The term is quite apropos because these days China is in the middle of it all. But the big question still remains, what are the subtleties to not only doing business there, but doing business there well? Part of the answer might rest with someone like Aaron Cai. Aaron is from mainland China and has spent the past 6 years either recommending equities or figuring out how to get power companies to distribute their products most effectively. 赛检是您好，今天谢谢你的时间到这个节目来。Aaron, welcome to the Language of Business.
Thanks, Professor Greg. Thanks.
So Aaron, let me ask you, what does it take these days to actually do business in China, and what sectors do you recommend we invest in?
I think first of all, basically, we need to look at the macro trend in China, in the economy. Secondly, we need to look at the overall world environment. That is an interaction, and that's also need some wisdom to invest.
These days, the U.S. media is indicating things are pretty severe in China economically. In your opinion, are they as severe on the ground as the media is making it out to be?
Not really. Basically, I read a couple of articles regarding the economy slowing down in China, the labor shortage in China, and also the housing bubbles. I think partly this is true because if we look at China in the world environment, everybody is experiencing the recession. U.S., Europe, China is also part of it. So slowing down is reasonable. However, I think Chinese government already recognized the housing bubble and the shortage of labor, that they are taking measures to cool down the overheated housing market. In the same time, they are trying to stimulate domestic market consumption. So that's the way they are doing.
So let's talk about domestic market consumption. Premier Xi Jinping has that as one of his goals for the next 3 to 5 years. As a mainland Chinese citizen, how do you think that the Chinese government is doing increasing domestic consumption?
I think basically what the government is looking at is great and is pretty straightforward. Say that China is migrating from a agricultural-based country to much more industrialized country, which needs the urbanization and modernization. During this process of urbanization, there are a lot of things will be changed. Say, for example, the infrastructure. That we already know that the railway airport has been built up in China very quickly in the recent years. So, and also during this process, a lot of people moving to the cities. That will require a lot of infrastructure such as hospitals. So that will create a lot of domestic consumption demand.
And what are you hearing from the Chinese government in terms of their efforts to support entrepreneurship throughout the People's Republic of China?
I think basically Chinese government is very strong supporting the entrepreneurial effort in China. They are providing the financial aid from the government agencies. They are also providing the tax reduction effort. In the meantime, they're also creating different platforms to promote the entrepreneur efforts.
Aaron, talk with us, please, about how new companies are financed in China. Does the process differ appreciably between mainland China and the United States?
Basically, I do not see there are too much big difference in China and the U.S. Usually, Chinese companies will go to different ways to get the finance, either to bank or to the private investors or large investor groups, such as VC or private equity groups. However, I would say that there is one factor that we cannot neglect, that Chinese government sometimes play a role in these kind of activities. But with the market condition is getting better, the Chinese government is trying to reduce its influence in this kind of market games. So that's what I see.
And what do you see about the frequency of exit strategies? In the sense, are the exit strategies of sale or IPO as frequent as they are in the Western world as they would be in the People's Republic of China?
I see much more IPO than the sales for two reasons. One, IPO will provide much more shareholder value to the investors. Secondly, going through the IPO process will provide much more transparency to the future investors. So these are the two major reasons that I will see are the best exit strategy for investors.
And are there specialized investment terms that you see in China that are endemic to China that aren't commonly used elsewhere?
Yes, there are two. I can give you two at least as example. One is QFI, which stands for Qualified Foreign Institutional Investor. The second one is QDII, which stands for Qualified Domestic Institutional Investor. Both provide the forms and platforms to the investors, either domestic or abroad, to invest. In one hand, this will provide a platform to investor. In another hand, this will mitigate the risk to the investor.
And what advice would you have for companies that want to do business in China right now?
I think right now is a good time to invest in China because if everybody's look risk, this also means opportunities. For my advice is to look at, say, what will be the next 5 years trend to China's growth. Say that is hospital infrastructure. That's basically will be the growth point for the next 5 years.
Aaron, thank you very much. Aaron Cai, engineer, specialist in finance. 非常感谢你的时间和帮助. Thank you very much for your time as well as your support.
Thank you very much.
Al Gore might have originally created the information superhighway we now call the internet. But how about the people who have programmed the code which allows you to press send on emails with such ease? We'll meet someone able to translate from geek speak to business speak and back again.
Greg Stoller talks with Ben Littauer next on The Language of Business.